Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bangladesh Weekly Roundup. Today is 11th March, Sunday, 2023. We were supposed to hold our this program last Friday, but Friday being a weekly holiday creates a lot of problems for us. So we have decided to come to you on Sunday from now on. Today's event, today's event's topic was suggested to us by one of our listeners, Mr. Afzal Jami, who had asked us to talk to you about a new Bangladesh, how I look at, dream about, or imagine a new Bangladesh. So, thank you, Mr. Afzal Jami, and with that, let us begin. Bangladesh, when we talk about Bangladesh, we have to remember our roots. Without without acting according to the knowledge we got from our roots, we will never succeed. That is our tradition, that is our roots, that is our historic struggle. So, for Bangladesh, the historic struggle was for democracy. So, Bangladesh, the new Bangladesh, cannot be something which is not democratic. The second thing I can think about for Bangladesh is that for last 50 years, we had governments which had given us plans, programs, checklists, big dreams. But we have seen that all those plans, all those assurances have turned out to be quite hollow. And why is that? Why do the plans not work? Why don't the projects don't work? If we want to look into it, a few weeks back I had told you that according to a study that only two countries in last 150 years has become developed, that is Japan and Korea. And why only two countries? Why couldn't any other country develop which the development that took place in Europe and in North America? That is a fundamental question. Ashoka Modi, a renowned Indian economist, Indian origin American economist, he has written a book called Why India is Broken. I didn't read the book, but he said that the main hypothesis of his book was that for 70 years, no government of India has been able to create an environment where trust was generated and collaboration was effective for producing public goods. That is, if I have to give you the assurance of exorbitant profit in order to make you do some public good, then that doesn't count. What counts is that you will do things with normal payments for public goods. And why can't we do this? Why can't we generate the trust and we cannot get the collaboration? Why do we have to bribe people for collaboration? In Europe, this trust generation and this collaboration, I think, was possible because of the precepts, the principles of Christianity that Europe had taken up. It is through Christian ethics that they had developed an ethical system, an ethical framework, foundation over which capitalism could effectively work. That's why classical economists like Adam Smith or John Stuart Mill, they are always talking about Ricardo, they're always talking about the ethical foundation. In our country, I think we have to have a guiding, organizing principle. And that without that guiding, organizing principle, I don't think we can have a developed Bangladesh. And what is that guiding, organizing principle? I think it has to be love. It has to be love. By that, I do not mean the love that we see in the movies. In English, there is only one word, love. But in Greek, in classical Greek, there are 7 categories of love. Of them, let me talk to about 3. The love between woman and man, it is called eros. So when we talk about love in the present, movies and books and things like that, we are talking about eros. But there is other types of love too. The love for friendship, that's called philia. And love for the people is called agape. And I am talking about agape. I am talking about the love that a teacher feels for the student. When we see somebody in trouble and we run to help them out, that is the love I'm talking about. I think if we do not have that love, why would the Prime Minister even think about how the working class children are learning in the classroom? And if I really have love for these children, then I would think, what are they learning? How are they going to become the productive citizens of the world? Nowadays, there is this big brouhaha about ChatGPT. This ChatGPT is so efficient, it is going to create so much profit, and people are so gaga about it. I was reading an article by Noam Chomsky where Mr. Chomsky is saying that a baby's brain, now think about ChatGPT. ChatGPT takes lots and lots and lots of information, data, and then they produce these answers. Whereas a baby brain takes only a little information, very few, little. But with that information, they understand language. With very little information, they produce outputs which has much more than that went in. Today I was just listening to a video of, I think his name is Edward Wheaton, one of the greatest physicists. And he was saying that the most beautiful mathematical equations are those which starts with very simple few terms and give us lots and lots of output. In that way, the most beautiful thinking, creative machine that we can think of is the baby's brain. And think how we are wasting the baby's brain every year. We are thinking about these buildings and in these roads. Are we crazy? I think the Greek era, the classical Greek era was successful because of those concepts of love. And if you do not have those concepts of love, the fellow feeling, then we can never build a country of our, what we deserve. And why shouldn't this country be a country of love? It is the country which has the best soil in the world. This is the country which has the most water in the world. It is this country where we are so soft and also hard. So I think that if our leadership is loving, then everything is going to work out. I'm not going to say oppressors and oppressed. I'm not going to say majority and minority. I'm going to say love or lovelessness, love or indifference, love or hate. We could talk about education, we could talk about healthcare, we could talk about finance, we could talk about manufacturing, we could talk about vocational, but we have to understand that we have to build a country where people should be able to get the minimum basic. Without minimum basic, a person cannot become fully productive. There is a concept called Maslow's hierarchy. We should not forget Maslow's hierarchy. Every human being needs minimum food, shelter, clothing, healthcare, security, and education. When these minimum needs are met, then only they can think of social role, productivity, self-actualization. I don't think that without satisfying people's basic needs, minimum basic needs, we can have productive workers. If our children are malnourished, then how can they learn? So, I believe that the government of Bangladesh, the future government of Bangladesh, has to ensure that every child gets education, that every child has free healthcare, that every child grows up with security. And when they grow up, they should have the vocational training centers, they should have the proper universities where they can get the skills necessary to become productive. Our schools should not follow Prussian school system. We should learn by playing games. We should learn by observing. We should learn by doing. Education is no more about this than me, but as a student, when my personal experience was that this was one of the biggest problem of Bangladesh, and still it is. Nowadays, $10 billion goes to India every year because we do not have proper people who can do the jobs that we need. And that is a failure of our education system. I haven't talked about finance. I haven't talked about fundings. I haven't talked about corruption. Let me say a little bit of corruption. We do not, if our guiding or organizing guiding principle is love, then the point is we do not want to punish anyone. But we do not want somebody to have the impunity to be continuing to harm the society. So we must deter. We must not take revenge. We must not punish. We must not become happy by punishing somebody. What we want to do is discipline, and what we want to do is a future where these crimes don't happen. If we have love, then we will go and deal with corruption in a different way. If in any government office, we must know beforehand what is their anti-corruption program. In every government office, the head of the office should be liable for any corruption that happens in his office. That doesn't mean that that person will go to jail. I'm not saying that the head will go to jail too. I'm not saying that. But the head of the office, the administrative wing of the office, the colleagues of the person, the perpetrator or the accused, everybody must answer. How did they allow corruption to happen in their office? You will see that once we do this, the environment will change overnight. I think, but I'm saying that we have to try. We don't know. We will try. If we try, then we would know, what are the problems. If we love our people, then we will definitely decentralize our country. We wouldn't want the children from Rangpur, Bogra, Kumilla, Borisal to come over in Dhaka, far away from their homes, their parents, and their families. They can go to their nearest town. They can live in their own households. That's why I think decentralization, where we have 10 divisional cities, which are 10 divisional governments, that is needed. It is a must. Without it, Bangladesh cannot go on. We are talking about empowering people. And empowering people will not happen if we do not love them, if we do not have fellow feelings for them. Once we have the fellow feelings, only then we will give them the dignity, the respect. And with dignity and respect, which is a two-way street, I think we will be able to build an environment in which all other things, finance, industry, technology, everything can flourish. As long as our field is good. By that I mean that our social fabric is strong. we are taking care of all our people as a matter of our principle, our values, only then, whatever you sow, be it a shipping industry or be it a machine making industry, everything will flourish. But if we don't, if our field is not worked out, nothing we sow will reap. Thank you. God bless you.